Now at 9, Reddings Mill firefighters remember a fallen hero.
I'm here at the Webb City Fire Department with the Badges and Burgers event. I have all the information of what went down coming up.
Plus, Pitt State's radio station is on the move. We take a step back into the station's history.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Reddings Mill Fire Protection District is mourning the loss of fellow firefighter Tucker Berry. The 21-year-old died during an incident involving a golf cart on Sunday. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. KOAM's Melissa Alexis spoke to the fire department about the impact Berry had on the community.
He had drive and ambition that would rival anyone I've ever met.
Dedicated is the word Tucker Berry's coworkers use to describe him.
He always gave it 100%, 110%. Everything he did, he wanted to do better. Whether that was in the fire service, in this community.
Deputy Chief Metcalf says Berry lived the fire department's motto, which was "We care," and he even got custom suspenders with the phrase on it.
So he could see it every time he put his gear on, and he understood the mission.
The 21-year-old worked at Reddings Mill Fire Protection District for a year and a half before his tragic passing.
He's never going to be a person that really has anybody dislike him. And you're not going to you're just going to be a better person by hanging out with him.
We're a very close-knit family, and we would work outside of work on other projects, and he was willing to do it at no cost.
A close-knit bond, he says he will miss. He says this is a big loss, not only for the fire department, but also for the community. Reporting in Reddings Mill, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, Berry's fellow firefighters say Berry was known for his community service in both the fire service and in his hometown of Lockwood, Missouri. McDonald County Schools celebrate the opening of a new storm shelter today with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. The shelter, located at the White Rock Elementary in Jane, Missouri, is one of 6 under construction across the district, thanks to a $21.5 million bond issue passed by voters in 2022. Once completed, every school in the McDonald County R1 school district will have an accessible storm shelter.
Well, for one, pride in our community, pride in our building, pride in our schools. We want people to realize that we care about our students, and we want our students to be safe. And I say students and staff as well. We want them to be able to come to school and have a safe environment for learning and a safe environment for activities as well.
The new shelters will provide improved safety for students, staff, and the community, and will also serve as additional educational space. Well, I hear we could be getting some rain. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Yeah, showers and thunderstorms are working into the region, which this is something we haven't seen much of over about the past 2 months, but a pretty strong cold front. Of course, we're getting into that time of the year that our weather starts to pick up quite a bit. But look at this line of storms from Kansas City all the way back toward Wichita. Now, there are a few stronger storms. There's even a severe thunderstorm warning once you get north of Yates Center. Most of these are just going to be moderate to strong storms, but getting into Yates Center, Eureka, Fredonia, Neodesha, over toward Iola over about the next 30 minutes or so. And these will continue to press east. They will gradually weaken as they get into southwestern Missouri, but just about everybody on the Kansas side should get some rain. And then working into southwestern Missouri, I would say 60% of us get something through the overnight hours. Most of these showers and thunderstorms will be out of here by morning. We'll talk more about this and what is to come here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Police officers and firefighters gathered to embrace each other and their community for a good cause. Today's Badges and Burgers event took place at the fire department in Webb City. KOAM's Lonnie Walton takes us there.
Done this for over 25 years, and for 25 years we've been cooking burgers and benefiting local fundraisers.
Don Melton is Webb City's chief of police. He says this fundraiser event benefits many in need, even those close to home.
Last year we just did it for West City employees. We had an employee's family going through a medical emergency, so we kind of helped them last year with our funds.
Badges and Burgers donates to several organizations throughout the community, like the United Way.
All the proceeds go to benefit the Area Agency on Aging, United Way, and the Webb City Cares.
Dwayne Dwelling, Executive Director of United Way in Southwest Missouri and Southeast Kansas, says these funds are going to some very key areas.
So these funds will help United Way fund agencies that provide services in the area of education, health, and financial stability.
Milton says this is all for the biggest cause, helping people.
It's our way to give back to the community. You know, they give us so much, so we're happy to give back to them.
Reporting in Webb City, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
In addition to the burgers, there was also a raffle. Well, some Hot Wheels rolled into the Vernon County Fairgrounds in Nevada, Missouri today for a youth fair. The theme of the event, Transition to Your Finish Line, Rev Up Your Future. The event, which included vendors and a car show, also provided information and resources for youth with disabilities as they make the transition into adulthood.
We really hope that they learn information from all the resources that were represented today to help them transition into adulthood, being able to learn about what jobs they may want to do, transitioning into school, just moving on into their own lives after they graduate high school.
They told me that they could help me with money plans or getting to where I need to go.
Well, the fair also featured award-winning public speaker Aaron Likens as the keynote speaker. While they may be a tempting accessory to enhance a Halloween look, doctors warn folks not to use costume contact lenses. Medical experts say most are not FDA approved and could prove harmful to the eye. Coming up, the dangers of wearing non-prescription costume contact lenses. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S. Nearly 128 million adults in the U.S. live with the disease. Recent American Heart Association report projects heart disease and stroke will affect more than 60% of Americans by the year 2050. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder told CBS Mornings that the American health system puts too much emphasis on sick care and not preventative care.
We're not prioritizing primary care, public health, which are the things that would prevent cardiovascular disease. And so why is that? Well, we don't have enough primary care providers.
To stay heart healthy, Dr. Gounder says people should avoid smoking, limit alcohol, maintain a healthy weight, and eat a balanced diet. While October is known as spooky season, it also marks Eye Injury Prevention Month. It's a fitting theme, especially as doctors warn of the potential hazards that can come with wearing non-prescription costume contact lenses. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at the risk.
While they may be a tempting accessory to enhance a Halloween look, doctors are urging folks not to use costume contact lenses.
Those contact lenses come from sources that have not been cleared by the FDA, have not been vetted, and really don't have an interest in maintaining eye health.
The CDC says contacts are medical devices that should be prescribed and properly fitted by a doctor. These traditional contacts require proper care and placement to avoid harming the eye. Someone who isn't used to wearing contacts and puts in costume lenses for the first time may not be aware of the risks.
They don't know to take them out every night before they go to bed. They don't know the proper cleaning and insertion and removal techniques necessary to make sure that the eye is not damaged by the contact lens itself.
Some costume lenses can even partially obscure people's vision, posing dangers for those walking around at night.
Anything that can make the eye cloudy would cause your vision to be poor, potentially on a permanent basis.
Common symptoms that costume lenses can be causing an issue include watery eyes, redness, pain, and light sensitivity.
Take the contact lenses out. That's step number one. The step number two is to call an eye care provider.
If you simply must change the color of your eye, some doctors recommend this approach.
Many of the large contact lens manufacturers actually do offer contact lenses that can change the appearance of your eye through pigments that they embed into the contact lens itself. Now, those contact lenses from these reputable companies can only be fit by an eye care professional.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, folks in Southeast Kansas made their way to the Outreach Health Fair today. The event at the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas featured all types of health screenings, including dental and vision checks, lead testing, and more.
We have a lot of members of Sunflower Health Plan here in this vicinity in southeast Kansas, and we know that access to care can be a challenge, and so it's important to us that we are able to meet members and people of the community where they're at.
Various area groups and businesses made the screenings for today's event possible. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later the latest presidential polls.
New polling shows former President Trump with a slight lead over Vice President Harris, but it's still within the margin of error in crucial swing states. Both candidates are doubling down in those key battlegrounds as we barrel towards Election Day. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I'll have the details coming up.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a hot one for us today. Temperatures right around 90 degrees, and we definitely need some rain across the region. In fact, on Thursday, our new drought tracker always comes out. So this is updated. It keeps getting worse every week because we haven't really had any rain across the region. But an extreme drought, really, south of Nevada over toward Table Rock Lake, all in northwest Arkansas, northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, and then surrounding that is a severe drought, so we definitely need the rain. Here's the good news. Showers, thunderstorms working into our western counties. Some of these have been a little bit stronger. We've even had a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly a little bit farther north. Once you head up toward the Kansas City metro area, you can see these yellow boxes. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings. Back here at home, we're going to have strong thunderstorms. We can't rule out 1 or 2 severe thunderstorms over the next hour or so, but then we're going to see a gradual weakening trend as these continue to push into the region. Let's get a little bit closer. So we're looking up, here's Coffee County, Burlington. So here's a severe thunderstorm warning, winds at 60, quarter-size hail. Rain getting into, starting, Yates Center, eventually Iola, Chanute, Fredonia, and Neodesha. This is on your doorstep. Eureka, Greenwood County, also showers and thunderstorms, and then down through Independence to Bartlesville, also in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Then these will march south and east. So let's go roughly an hour ahead, about 10:30, from Iola, Chanute, Fredonia, Independence, marching east. Overall trend is weakening, but we are getting thunderstorms in here. By midnight, we're looking from Nevada through Pittsburgh, down toward Nowata, getting through the metro by 1:30 in the morning, and any showers and thunderstorms pretty much out of here by the morning hours. We'll have to see where those heavier bands set up, but some areas are going to get a quarter, maybe upwards to ½ an inch, but overall average about 1/10 of an inch, because again, these are going to be scattered. Not everybody's going to get the rain. Look at the front. Still, we're sitting upper 70s to near 80 outside for us right now, and the winds have been kind of strong for us all day long. Those southerly winds kicking in 10, 15, upwards to 20 miles per hour. Now they switch out the other direction tomorrow behind our front. Still going to be breezy. We're going to have those northerly winds at about 20 to 30 miles per hour, and some cooler air building in behind this system heading down from Canada is going to give us really nice weather as we go into the next couple days. Looking at your Friday, temperatures look fantastic. It looks like most of us will be 75, 76 degrees for afternoon highs. Day planner 65 to start, 71 by noon. High temp of 76 degrees. Let's go 73 Saturday, 79 Sunday. 80s back in Monday and Tuesday. And then on Halloween, we do have a chance for rain right now. It looks like mainly in the morning.
All right. Morning is better than evening,
yeah,
because
definitely.
all the trick-or-treaters out there, you know,
Absolutely.
you don't want to get that candy wet.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, competitive races.
The race for the White House might have the spotlight, but down-ballot contests are just as important. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with a look at some competitive U.S. Senate races.
But first, as Pitt State's radio station makes a move to its new home, we meet the man who has been there since its start.
Fund you one meal at a time.
Striking Boeing factory workers vote to reject the company's latest contract proposal, continuing their nearly 6-week work stoppage. The offer included a 35% pay increase over 4 years, bigger bonuses, and improved 401k matches, but it did not restore the traditional pension plan the union called for, a sticking point for many workers. The KRPS radio station that operates from Pittsburgh State University is moving out of the building it has been in for the past 36 years. The radio station will soon have a new home in the Bicknell Center for the Performing Arts. KOAM's Anthony Saviello gives us one final look at the station's home for over 3 decades and speaks with a man who's worked there from the beginning.
At the home of the Gorillas sits Shirk Hall. Within there lies the Baxter Broadcasting Center, the home of 89.9 KRPS. At least it has been.
It's a house cleaning, and it's an opportunity to, we can make the best of it.
Cleaning house after 36 years has Matthew Witt looking back through the history of the radio station.
Oh, here we are smoking a cigarette in our fashionable suit and tie. Yes, so that was a nice discovery.
Matt has been at the station since its birth.
Yeah, these are kind of clunky and not my favorite media, but that's how we would record it back 30 plus years ago.
30 plus years of working with a variety of people.
It's been interesting to go through this process with him, because I'm a relative short timer, only here 7.5 years, compared to Matt's 36 years.
30 plus years of history, not just within the CDs and records, but the man who cares for them.
I've gone through so many boxes, and we have television or newspaper articles with Matt. Matt in 1998, and Matt in 2008, and Matt in 2018.
30 plus years, not just working in a radio station, but building relationships.
I suppose a bond has developed over the decades, and we appreciate that, and I hope we're still serving those folks into the future.
But even with eyes on the future, there's still room to remember the past.
So it's very old-fashioned in many ways, but you can develop an affection for something old-fashioned, I think.
In Pittsburgh, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
KRPS General Manager tells us the station hopes to be fully moved into its new home at the Bicknell by July of next year. From food to a car show, Freeman hosts a party to help its staff and volunteers transition into the fall season.
Area Hearing and Speech.
Freeman Health System played host to Autumn Fest this evening at its East Campus. The Come and Go event featured music, a car show, and chili dogs. Organizers say it was a great way for the Freeman Advantage members and the Freeman Volunteer Service folks to get together.
We love working together, and our schedules are crazy just on a daily, weekly basis. So for us to be able to partner together and bring our demographics together in one place, because we do overlap. Advantage members are volunteers, and a lot of times volunteers are Advantage members, and we love the opportunity to serve them together.
And you can become a Freeman Advantage member if you are over 50. The Advantage program offers a variety of things from exercise classes, walking groups, medical education, a book club, and movie days. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Despite the ramped up rhetoric from Kamala Harris, a new poll has good news for Donald Trump, where voters' views are tilting in his favor. Plus, the polls are tight in several Senate races, but Republicans like their chances of winning back the majority, and that could make a major difference in how much gets through Congress, depending on who wins the White House.
The Big Bang Theory, tonight at 10:30, right here.
Cash with Ford Credit Financing, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. As we close in on Election Day, new polls show former President Donald Trump holding a slight lead, but crucial swing states are still within the margin of error, and both Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are focusing their efforts. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the latest from campaign 2024.
Former President Donald Trump is rallying his supporters in Tempe, Arizona, urging people to get out and vote. And every vote counts. A new Marist poll shows Trump with a 1% lead in Arizona. Republicans say they're feeling optimistic.
We're going to know on election night that Donald J. Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States.
You think we're going to know on election night?
Yes, ma'am.
A new Wall Street Journal poll shows Trump with a 2-point lead nationwide on a ballot including third-party and independent candidates. That's still within the margin of error. Vice President Kamala Harris set the stakes.
Either you have the choice of a Donald Trump who will sit in the Oval Office, stewing, plotting revenge, retribution, writing out his enemies list, or what I will be doing, which is responding to folks like the folks last night with a to-do list, understanding the need to work on lifting up the American people.
Harris took questions in Philadelphia before heading to Atlanta, hoping to make up some ground. In the crucial swing state, Marist has the two candidates virtually tied.
It is 19 electoral votes. It cannot be replaced by any other state. If you lose Pennsylvania, you have to win 2 other states to get those 19 electoral votes back, which is why both campaigns are fighting so furiously for it.
Later tonight, Harris will travel to Houston, Texas, and Trump will speak to a conservative crowd in Las Vegas. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
The White House is not the only thing Democrats are trying to hold on to this election. They're also trying to keep their majority in the Senate. With Republicans ahead in several key races, it's looking like the balance of power could shift. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the details.
It's looking like a tough road ahead for Democrats to maintain control of the Senate. Fox News power rankings predict Republicans will take control with 51 seats, thanks to an all but certain flip in West Virginia and a slight edge in Montana.
The Senate races are starting to closely track with the presidential races. Republicans feel like they have a lot of late momentum.
If Senate Democrats want to hold on to power, they'll need nearly all of their incumbents to win re-election and win open seats in Arizona, Michigan, and Maryland. But this cycle, some historically blue seats are no longer guaranteed.
Joe Biden won Maryland by 33 points. And so we've got to run a completely different kind of race.
Maryland Republican Senate candidate Larry Hogan is staying competitive by distancing himself from Donald Trump, even saying he won't vote for the former president. But some vulnerable Democrats are trying to tie themselves to the GOP nominee. Democratic candidates in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan are all running campaign ads featuring Trump.
I want to be very clear to Republican voters out there, do not fall for this. Donald Trump, when he's back in the White House as our 47th president, will need a Congress to vote alongside of him to make lasting changes in this country.
Another competitive race is Texas, where Senator Ted Cruz only leads his Democratic challenger by 1 point. But Trump is campaigning in Austin Friday and is expected to give Cruz a needed boost. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast and later, proper pumpkin care.
You may already have your Halloween pumpkin, but can you keep it from looking frightening through the holiday? I'm Brian Yennis in New York with the details coming up.
Well, we're starting to get showers and thunderstorms pushing into our western counties, which is great news because we really need the rain. Here's a great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We are looking downtown Joplin. Quiet here for now, but we are going to get scattered showers and thunderstorms working in over the next several hours. Look at this line of storms, some stronger storms, even some low-grade severe thunderstorms. Once you get a little bit farther north, you can see one pushing out of Coffee County and then up through the Kansas City metro area. Most of ours are going to be moderate thunderstorms, which we are very used to, just not really over the past 2 months or so. They're not cruising very fast. They're only moving at about 30 miles per hour, so they're going to take their time kind of pushing through, but that's okay because that gives us some beneficial rain. All right, so here's Iola, so heading north toward Garnett, still one severe thunderstorm warning, winds at 60, quarter-size hail. Let's track a little farther south. Rain starting to get into the west side of Yates Center, Fredonia, Neodesha, so Chanute, Erie, Parsons, you guys will be on deck. Independence down towards Sedan, and then still about an hour away from Bartlesville. And if we look at this, probably almost 2 hours away from Pittsburgh, and then 2.5 hours before it gets into the metro. But at least we're getting some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. So over the next hour or so, cruising east, watch how they kind of fall apart. So they are going to weaken. We're still going to have showers and a few thunderstorms out there once they get to the I-44 corridor. They're just not going to look as beefy as what they are looking like right now. So once it gets to the state line and into southwestern Missouri, rainfall amounts are going to be low, but it's something. It's better than nothing. Temperature is still warm, most of us upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Checking outside here, 7th, here's range line sitting at 79, south winds at 15 miles per hour. Those southerly winds are going to stay strong until that front rolls through. Then they'll switch out of the north by the time we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. What that will do is usher in some cooler air behind this system, upper level flow out of Canada, giving us a little bit cooler of temperatures. All right. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms continue to push through. Friday looks great. Lower 70s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, I'm going to stop the clock at 4:30. Most of us sitting into the mid 70s. Friday night gets kind of cold. We start to drop back, low to mid 40s. Then Saturday afternoon looks fantastic. High temps into the lower 70s. Day planner on Friday, 71 by noon, 76 during the afternoon. Hoodie weather. If you're heading out to 4-State Friday night, high school football as we drop back through the 60s into the 50s by tomorrow evening, but it will be dry. Weekend looks great. 80s return Monday and Tuesday. Rain returns next Wednesday, lasting through the second half of next week.
So when do you think tonight's storms will completely move through our viewing area?
They'll be gone by 4 a.m.
4 a.m. So we got a night of rain.
Yeah, but it gets less and less as it pushes in.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thank you for keeping an eye on that.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, Pittsburgh State football previews its top 10 matchup with Central Oklahoma. Plus, Mount Vernon volleyball hosts a district semifinal against East Newton. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
We're here on Fox.
6-1 Pittsburgh State football heads on the road this Saturday to face undefeated Central Oklahoma in a game that very well could decide who wins the MIAA championship.
These are games that you live for. These are games that you come to a place like Pitt State to go compete in. So I think it's going to be an awesome challenge for some guys to get to go on the road and face this challenge.
This is a great test for us. It's going to be a great test for us. Watching film on them, their offensive line's really sound. Tight ends are really good. Receivers can fly. Running backs are really talented. But it all stems around their quarterback kind of and what he's able to do. And so it's going to be another, great opponent we're going to play.
Like Jack said, we gotta win pre-snap. We got to get the call. We got to get lined up, and we got to play fast. And we can't make mistakes. I mean, that's where they expose you. Is if you have a breakdown in coverage on the second or third level, they're going to find it and they're going to make you pay. Or if you have a misfit in the run game up front, the running backs are going to make you pay for it.
District tournaments continue this evening for high school volleyball in Missouri. 4 of our local schools do battle over in Mount Vernon. Well, we've reached the semifinal round of the Class 3 District 12 volleyball tournament. East Newton plays the host school, Mount Vernon. In the first set, Savannah Damp gets the kill right here, and Mount Vernon jumps out to an early lead. East Newton calls multiple timeouts to try and slow down the pace. Later in the set, check out that dig by Katie Susse, keeps the point alive, and eventually East Newton cashes in and gets the kill. Patriots trying to keep it close here. Still in the first. Savannah Damp comes through again and gets the kill. Mountaineers take the first set 25-14. Mount Vernon will win the first 2, so now we're in the third set. Tegan Hoover comes in and she finds the open space on the floor for the kill. That sets up match point. Mount Vernon aiming for the sweep. And here's Hoover getting a hand on it with the block. That falls on the East Newton side of the floor, and Mount Vernon beats East Newton 3-0. Lady Mountaineers advance to the district title game on Saturday. In the second semifinal of the night, 3-seed Lamar takes on 2-seed Monette. We pick things up in the first set. Morgan Wright sets up Peyton Brandt. She spikes this one hard and gets the kill. Monette in control early, but Lamar hanging tough. Bailey Hekadon here hits this off the hands of the defender. That gets the point. For Lamar, we go to match point. This one with just a little bit too much on it. Monette takes the first set 25-20. We go ahead to the second now. Lamar with a 24-21 lead. This ball gets blocked at the net by Chrislyn Dixon, and Lamar takes set number 2. We go ahead to the third. This would be back and forth. Adeline Brownlee finds the open floor. Cubs take that one 29-27. Monette wins 3-2. The Cubs will face Mount Vernon in the district championship on Saturday afternoon. Kansas high school football. Baxter Springs goes on the road to Galena tonight. Lions up 7-0 after Galena fumbles on the first play, so the Bulldogs get right back to work. Jack Perry hits Thatcher Botkin on a swing pass. That moves the chains. Play later, Caleb Burkhart takes it around the edge, and he barrels down to the 2-yard line. Then Burkhart can just walk into the end zone with great blocking in front from 2 yards out. Baxter still leads 7-6. Second quarter, Lions offense gets some life. Isaiah Main throws across the middle. That's tipped in the air, and it's caught by Caleb Grant. Big pickup. Later in that same quarter, Main takes it himself up the middle. He gets a first down before he's dragged down. That drive ends with a field goal. Baxter leads 10-6 at halftime. First play of the third quarter, Evan Wittenmeyer stiff arms a defender to the ground. He gets to the outside, and he's gone for a 40-yard touchdown. Bulldogs get a win on senior night. They take down Baxter Springs 36-20 and finish the regular season with a 4-4 record. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Pumpkins are a quintessential symbol for the season. The gourds add charm to your holiday decor, but they also require proper care to keep them shining through the season. Fox News correspondent Brian Linas has more on choosing, preserving, and repurposing your pumpkins this fall.
Whether from a farm or your local grocery store, roughly 150 million Americans carve a pumpkin each Halloween. If you haven't plucked yours from the patch yet, experts suggest
you want it to be a really deep, vibrant color. Then I want you to pick it up and sort of feel it. If the skin starts to feel like it's a little bit squishy, or if you can sort of push on it just a little bit and it goes in any, that's also not one that you're looking for. The last thing that you should look at is the stem. You want that stem to be a really dark green color. You want it to be really strong feeling when you hold on to it. You don't want it to be all shriveled up.
Sarah Sharp, an agriculture and natural resources agent, says once you have your perfect pumpkin, it's important to preserve it. And that starts with,
when you get your pumpkin home, either dip it or spray it in with a diluted bleach solution. Basically what you want to do is get any of that surface bacteria or fungus or mold.
Sharp says the best way to preserve your pumpkin throughout the holiday is to keep it out of direct sunlight. Dry it after the rain, and although carved creations look great on your porch, wait as long as possible to turn it into a jack-o'-lantern.
Basically, pumpkins are made up of a lot of water, so as soon as you carve that pumpkin and expose it to the elements, that water is going to start evaporating out of your pumpkin, which is going to cause it to deflate and look really funky a lot faster. So if you can wait, that is the best thing to do. You know, you could put some petroleum jelly around the cut edges. You could put some sort of sealant.
And after all the trick-or-treaters have left and the costumes are put away, it's time to get rid of the gourd. But before you throw it in the trash, where more than 1 billion pounds of pumpkin are dumped each year,
you can either eat the flesh on the inside, or you can roast those seeds. You can put them out for the wildlife. You know, deer, squirrels, anything like that, they absolutely will eat them. The pumpkins are really high in nitrogen, so they are a fantastic addition to your compost pile. You do want to make sure that you do rotate your compost regularly. Otherwise, you may have pumpkin plants out of your compost pile next spring.
If you opt to compost it or feed it to the wildlife, Sharp reminds folks to make sure you remove any paints, sealants, or petroleum jelly from your pumpkin first. In New York, Brian Yennis, Fox News.
Well, from Terrifier 3 to Longlegs, we look at new scary movies in theaters and what's new to watch at home, as well as classics available to rewatch after the break. It's spooky season with Halloween coming up, and horror movies are topping the box office. Plus, there are plenty of scary films to watch at home, and we have some recommendations for new films to check out and classics to rewatch. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Happy Halloween! It is scary movie season, and we can certainly see that at the box office, Eric. So let's start with the top 3 horror movies currently playing in theaters.
I'm going to start with Smile 2. It is certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. This time it revolves around a pop star played by Naomi Scott.
Terrifier 3 topped the box office its opening weekend.
The original Terrifier was a crowdfunded film. And, you know, I think when you have that kind of situation, you have this built-in fan base that's just going to be not only loyal, but it's going to grow.
The Substance is in theaters with Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley.
It stars a woman who is a fading celebrity who takes a black market drug that promises her to temporarily create a younger, more beautiful version of herself.
Fandango at Home has new indie horror hits like Longlegs with Nicolas Cage and Micah Monroe.
I would love to also tout the indie darling, Strange Darling. It's about a one-night stand that spirals out of control. Back to Micah Monroe, one of her earliest horror movies is called It Follows. They're also making a sequel right now to It Follows, starring Micah. It's one of my all-time favorite horror thrillers. Here she plays a girl who is given an STD that is also a curse, and she begins to be followed by undead people.
There are classic rewatch recommendations too.
Beetlejuice, because the new one is also now available to watch at home. Scary Halloween, the original, of course. But if you want something maybe that goes a little bit harder than Halloween, hey, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, celebrating its 50th anniversary this year.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
I love the Halloween season, and that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a mischievous meerkat enjoying a pumpkin playhouse at California's Oakland Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.